I've been following this guy since his early covers on YouTube. Oh, this is a banger.
Something's got a hold on me lately. No, I don't know myself anymore. Feels like the walls are all closing in and the devil's knocking at my door. Oh, out of my mind. How many times did I tell you I'm no good at being alone?
I'm both really sad because of the context of this, but also thrilled by his vocals, and it's a whole host of emotions going on in my body. His vocals are so cool. I love the very basic kind of Amy Winehouse style piano in there, and that means that his voice really stands out in this quite sparse musical backing. I think you've just got a bass, a one-note bass going on underneath. He has a natural grittiness to his voice, which is throughout his whole range, and his speaking voice.
Teddy swims. Can you?
Oh, okay. I thought I was going somewhere. I'm not going to drown him, but, you know, it's just not my strong suit. It's not my comfortable place.
It means it probably just comes down to his anatomy, essentially. But more than that, he has so much soul. So the way that he is producing things like O, the O vowel is really round, and he's allowing there to be lots of scoops. I'm going to go back because he also switches between that and goes between that precision that you often hear in rap, essentially, and this soul-y, scoopy sound.
Something's got a hold on me.
Something's is not something got me lately. Some slick old riffs in there as well. There's a good one coming up.
Lately. No, I don't know myself.
Don't know my. Each one has a little. It gets up to that note, but it's not. Don't know my. That would sound a little bit too placed, you know? A little bit Julie Andrews, and I don't think he's Julie Andrews.
Feels like the walls are all closing in and the devil's knocking at my door. Whoa.
And that whoa, see how round he is? That jaw's really relaxed. It's kind of interesting as well. I wonder if he's had any vocal tuition or he's been working on this, because in his early covers on YouTube I've seen a little bit of jaw tension, and sometimes his jaw kind of moving off to the side a little bit, but here is totally relaxed, and that is definitely helpful.
Whoa, out of my mind. How many times did I tell you I'm no good at being?
So that out of my mind, out of my really precise consonants, and mind falls off the end. So you've got that precision at the start, but then I'm still bluesy.
Taking a toll on me.
Oh,
Trying my
nice.
best to keep from tearing the skin off my bones.
Okay,
Don't you know?
here it goes.
Lose control when you're not next to me. I'm falling
So good.
apart right in front of you. Can you see? I lose control when you're not next
Oh,
to me.
he gets me.
Yeah, you're breaking my heart, baby. You make a mess of me. Problematic. Problem is, I want your body like a feeling.
I love it. It's both powerful and amazing and thrilling, yet emotional and sad at the same time, and that is what a amazing balance to strike. Part of it is the openness and the power of his voice, which will come down to, as I said before, his anatomy, but also how he's shaping his vowels, how he's raising his soft palate, and his larynx is probably neutral-ish position. That riff in the middle is so interesting. It's interesting to me, first of all, because I first found him when he did a cover of Chris Stapleton's Tennessee Whiskey, a similar song in that you have this amazing open chorus, very, very powerful, with a really difficult riff in the middle. Teddy Swims said when he was writing this with his writing partners, he wanted to write something that had a big riff in the middle that people could just sit in their car and try and work out that riff. I think he's definitely succeeded. A similar thing to what a lot of people do with Tennessee Whiskey. Yet that is tricky because you still want it to be hooky, a song that people's ears hook onto, so you have that simplicity in the I lose con, and that builds with the little gaps in between as you're waiting for him to lose control, and that riff is like a metaphor for the loss of control. I love it.
Yeah, you're breaking my heart, baby. You make a mess of me. Problematic. Problem is I want your body like a fiend, like a bad habit. Bad habits hard to break when I'm with you.
This is so interesting because again, it's a little bit more contemporary. Everything's been quite classic, but this era reminds me of R&B, a little bit of rap. It's very rhythmic. It's not got a lot of melody in it, so he's taking from different genres to make it be both classic and modern at the same time, and therefore I think that this covers a lot of audiences as well. He says that when he writes, he makes sure that each section has a hook to it, and I think he's been very successful with this song in that. He also said when he wrote this song, he knew this song would change his life, and it has. It's a great song. And a bit of nasality there.
Bad habits hard to break when I'm with you. Yeah, I know I can do it on my own, but I want that real full-on black magic, and it takes two. Problematic. Problem is when I'm with you, I'm an addict, and I need some relief. My skin and your teeth can't see the forest through the trees. Got me down on my knees, darling, please. I lose control when you're not
So
next to
sparky.
I'm falling apart right in front of you. Can't you see? I lose control when you're not next to me. Yeah, you're breaking my heart, baby. You make a mess of me.
We're gonna get a cool guitar solo. When I first heard of him, my sister went to a festival in Scotland and was like, oh, here is the list of artists. Do you know any of them? And Teddy Swims was playing. And I was like, you have to go see him if you're at this festival. And she was like, he is the best ever. This was such a good performance. Now, it's interesting because there's a song there, When I'm With You, I'm an Addict. And it's both true to his life, but also a metaphor for anyone who isn't an addict. It's a metaphor of what we often feel that love feels like. But he actually was an addict and was trying to clean up his life, and that wasn't working well with the partner that he was with at the time. The name of the album this is from is I've Tried Everything But Therapy Part 1. An interesting title, right? Apparently the inspiration comes from an interview that he gave where he said that he wanted to be a traumatized little beep a little bit longer, give himself a little bit more time to work through things on by himself, I suppose. He said after that he would put himself into therapy and try and work through it all. So that's where this came from, that kind of self-healing process, which is really, really interesting. There's so many interesting interviews with him. Okay, let's learn this. So this goes in 3 sections. Number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. Section 2. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And section 3, which I don't number so much. Oh. So. Oh. It's so fun. Okay. And then a classic guitar, another genre. Love it. It's like I'm showering in the sound, right? So this isn't very much a wall of sound production. It's something that came around with Phil Spector and is this kind of very echoey, very reverby sound. It's quite a classic sound now, and it just feels like you're bathing in that sound. I love it. And actually at the start it was very sparse and less reverby, but I loved how it's got more and more atmospheric as we've moved on. And actually come down into less reverb here. More intimate.
Control when you're not next to me. I'm falling apart right in front of you. Can't you see? I lose control when you're not next to me. You're breaking my heart, baby. You make a mess of me.
Even through focusing on all the technique, it really got me in the end. Before you go, I have just released my very own album, Fable. Some of the songs are available here on YouTube and on Spotify. I'd love if you could check them out, and the whole album is available on Bandcamp and on my website, betharoids.com. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.